if you are a baker that has a job and you're looking to transition into being like running it from a hobby to a baking business, this guys is a video for you, because this was me in February 2023. I transitioned from my job to running a home bakery, part-time initially, but now I do it full-time. So there are some things you need to consider before you even like start at all. There are a few things you need to consider, and I'm here to tell you those things you need to consider. Those things I didn't even know I needed to consider. Number one is, do you already know how to bake and decorate? It doesn't have to be like, really fancy, really great, like really skilled, like professional baking and decorating. But do you know how to do the basics, right? When I started, I had already been a home baker in Ukraine before I got here. And then I got a job before I kind of started baking from home while I was doing the job. So if that's not your case, you need to get a baking and decorating class. It can be an online class, it can be an on-site class, but you need somebody to show you the ropes of things. You might feel like you already know, but yes, you can do a little try and error and get to the point, but that will take you a longer time. And between that time, you have a couple of very unsatisfied customers. I don't know if that makes sense. So to cut your problems short, or to get to the point faster, right? The point is to grow, to be able to make money from this, your hobby, right? Get a class. It can even be a simple buttercream class that lasted a couple of hours. You see the tips and tricks someone like maybe a professional uses that you want to use that will get you to the point faster. Don't waste your time. Yes, you can watch YouTube videos, but there is a difference, guys. Take it from me. I don't have any class to sell to you, but I'm just giving you the tea for what it is, right? So that's the first thing you want to think about. Another very important thing you want to think about before I even go into the list of the things you need to think about: do not quit your job, guys. It is expensive. Oh, except you have some savings somewhere that you're going to be able to fall back on when you want to buy some things, but you want to move into this business, right? Don't quit your job. You can quit your job maybe 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, 4 months down the line, depending on how far you've gone and how much you have. It is an expensive hobby, and do not quit your job. I'm going to make another video on the things you need to buy to get started, like from scratch. But guys, it is expensive, yeah? It's not really that much if you think about it, or if you're a rich person. But if you're not really, really rich, it piles up, guys. It adds up at the end of the day. So initially, don't quit your job. You can be getting 1 or 2 orders. While I was working, I can still make 2 or 3 orders during the week and add that to my job and not be overly stressed out. So if it's something you can do, like maybe take several orders during the week that you can do maybe at night after work. I was doing my work was in the midnight, so I got to do a bunch of stuff during the day. But if you work during the day, you can also do your orders in the night and get the people to pick up maybe in the morning or in the night, depending on what you do. So number one, guys, is get a class. Get somebody to show you the ropes. No matter how small, no matter how short, it can be 5 hours, it can be a week, depending on what you find or what you can afford. Get somebody to show you the ropes. You get to the point faster. Number 2, don't quit your job. It's expensive. Now, let's delve into the main issues of the video, right? Okay. So, number 1, first thing you want to do is research and plan. What do you want to sell? If you're starting and you're going into the business, there are different areas you can go into. Let me give you an example, right? Some people make just cupcakes. They don't make anything else, just cupcakes. Because that's easy for them. That's what they love. Pick something you will enjoy doing and you can make money from, right? So what do you want to sell? Do you want to sell only buttercream cakes? Do you want to sell only whipped cream cakes? Do you want to sell a combination of them? Do you want to sell only cupcakes? What do you want to sell? There's somebody I know that sells only cake donuts. She doesn't sell anything else, and she makes really wonderful ones. I've never bought from her because she lives in a different country, but you can see her Instagram feed and everything looks nice and delicious. So pick what you want to sell. The reason why I feel like you should niche down is because that way you get better fast, and that way you make money fast. When I first started my cake business, I was doing everything. I wish somebody had told me that, okay, Dami, pick one you want to do. If maybe after a couple of months or a couple of years you want to branch into something else different. But if you're going in different directions, you won't get good at one fast. So pick what you want to do. Do you want to make fondant cakes? Get a fondant cake class. Do you want to make buttercream cakes? Get somebody to show you the ropes, eh? Do you want to make only whipped cream or whipped cream and buttercream? You know? Do you want to make only cupcakes? Do you want to make cake donuts? Do you want to make only macarons? Do you want to make only cookies? Don't do everything. You'll get nowhere very slowly. Take it from me. So research what sells in your area, what you enjoy doing, and plan around that. Plan your money around that. Plan your time around that. Plan your everything around that thing you want to start selling first. Doesn't mean you can't delve into other things later, but pick one first and get good at it. That's where customers come from. It's easy to get this customer that came to buy a buttercream cake. Yeah, they know you sell buttercream cakes and they're coming in droves. And then you say, oh, now I also sell cupcakes or I also sell cookies. Now they say, oh, okay, you can add 4 pieces of cookies to that. Or you can add a batch of cookies to that. You can add a batch of, cupcakes to that. But niche down and get good at it, right? So that's the first point. The first point is to research, niche down, and strategize on that thing, right? So the number 2 you want to do is legal considerations, right? It depends on where you live. I don't know where you live watching this video. So where I live, you have to get some permits from the local government. Yeah. You also, some people, you can decide, do you want to do this as a sole trader or do you want to do this as an LLC? LLC are limited liability companies. Sole traders means like just you're selling, right? So you want to, so that you don't get in trouble and stuff, you need to research in your area. What do you need to get? What legal permits or I think they're called permits. Do you need to get in place before you start so you don't get in trouble, right? Number 3 is, what do you offer, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say now you've decided you want to make only buttercream cakes. What do you offer when it comes to these buttercream cakes? Do you offer gluten-free? Do you offer vegan? Do you offer what do they call people that have celiac disease? That's gluten-free, yeah? Yeah, do you offer halal options? So you want to decide what you offer. You can't offer everything, of course, because there might be contaminations and stuff. So you want to decide what you offer, or if you don't even maybe cater to any allergies. For example, for me, I don't cater to any allergies. If you are very specific, if you want vegan, if maybe you have celiac disease, don't buy from me, because I can't guarantee, like, for example, I use chocolate, and in the packet of the chocolate, they say you might have nuts. So it would be weird, even though I didn't add nuts, it would be weird for me to say, oh, it's not free, because the people that sold chocolate to me told me it might have nuts. It's unfair for me to tell the customer it's not free because I didn't add nuts, if that makes sense. So decide what you want to sell. What do you offer? So aside from catering to people's allergies and specifications, on the other hand, decide what flavors you offer. Let me give you an example. If you want to sell buttercream cakes, for example, you can decide, I have 4 flavors you can choose from, or I have 6 flavors you can choose from. Vanilla, coconut, chocolate. Decide what flavors you offer. Don't let the customers come and tell you what they want to buy. The reason is because that might be tricky, because you might think, oh, let them just say anything, I'll make it. If somebody wants, for example, Ukrainians love lemon poppy seed cake, and they have a certain way they make it. So if somebody comes to you and they say, oh, they want a lemon poppy seed cake, if you don't know how to make it, you don't know how to make it. You could check YouTube and make it, you see a recipe and you make it like that and it doesn't turn out well. Now you're giving the person a bad lemon bad lemon poppy seed cake. So decide what you offer, and let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, customers will choose from what you offer. But if you give them the possibility of choosing anything, if you're Nigerian, somebody could want an agbalumo cake. Where do you start from, right? So decide what you offer and tell them, oh, this is what I offer, and you have to pick from here to be able to buy, right? The alternative is you can have options for maybe people that, maybe it's a wedding cake. Wedding cake people are usually very specific about what they want. You can make allowances for those kind of people, but make sure you have what you offer. And when I say what you offer in terms of flavor, and on the other hand, make sure you niche down on what you want to sell based on specifications and allergies, right? So that's number 3. Number 4 is product development. It also has a lot to do with what you offer. So now that you know that, okay, I have 6 flavor options I offer, right? So you're going to, let's say you have 6 different recipes for those 6 different flavors. Make sure you bake them and test them all out before you give anybody. When I first started my cake business, I was in second year in medical school, and I lived in the hostel with my friend. And I would bake different recipes, and she would ask to taste them. And I think within the year, she added over 5 kg because like it was just me and her, and we were tasting them. So you have to make sure like you test out your recipes. You just don't have recipes and then when somebody wants you bake it for them. You have to make sure you test out your recipes and they are great. They are wonderful. You like them. If you don't like them, look for another one or make changes to them as need be, if that makes sense. Okay. So we've talked about research and planning, legal considerations, cost and pricing, product development. So now let's talk about sourcing ingredients. This is very important. This can make or break your profit margin. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, you want to start baking buttercream cakes. There are places you go where like they sell butter for 3.5 euros. For example, in Dublin, there are places you go where like the least butter they sell in the shop is 5 euros. So you want to know where you buy from. You don't just want to be able to, yeah, it's butter, it's everywhere, but you want to like do your research into where can I buy, where do other bakers buy that is cheap. But there are some places that like all they sell is they sell stuff for people that bake and they maybe people that have restaurants. So that way they have a bunch of baking like and a wide range of them that are not overly expensive and it's cheaper than if you were to go buy in the store downstairs. Let me give you another example, right? Downstairs where I live, there is a shop, right? And they sell, the least flour they sell is about almost 4 euros. And if I will just go across, like if I maybe walk about maybe, or drive about 10 minutes away into the city center, you can see flour, the same 2 kg for as low as 1.5. Yes, there are some things you should not buy the cheapest things, but when it comes to things like flour and sugar, it is flour and sugar. Buy from where it's cheapest, if that makes sense. So you need to do your research into like sourcing ingredients and sourcing the things you need so that like it doesn't hurt your profit margin. You're just starting out, right? Okay, so another tip I want to give you, this is not on my list. This was something I saw on the blog about 5-6 years ago, and it was like not going cheap. Yes, I know I said buy the cheap things, yeah. When I say buy the cheap things, I mean things like flour, sugar, salt, oil, you know. But there's some things you should not go cheap on, and you should find the best quality. And usually the best quality is not usually the cheapest. And note, I'm not trying to say you should buy the most expensive one, because sometimes the most expensive one is not usually the best quality. It just depends on who is selling it, right? So let me give you an example. She said something about, right, let's say you wanted to make a chocolate cake and you buy, oh, this is this basic cocoa powder that they sell in the store, everybody uses, it's $5, right? Now you're going to take that $5 cocoa powder and use it to bake your cake. So now you have a really nice chocolate cake that you sold to somebody for 100 euros. But elsewhere, there is a place where they sell this exceptional cocoa powder. You've tried it, you tested it, and other bakers rave about it, and it is 10 euros, right? If you take that exceptional cocoa powder and you use it to bake a cake, now you have the same cake that is 100 euros here, the same 100 euro cake, but now this chocolate cake is really a great chocolate cake. Now you have an exceptional chocolate cake that customers will keep coming back for. So even though it's the same 100 euros and you spend 5 euros more, in the long run you're going to make more money because this is the chocolate cake everybody sells with their cocoa powder, and this is this exceptionally good chocolate cake that everybody wants to buy from you because you changed or you upgraded one ingredient. So you need to be able to know when to go cheap. But don't worry, the more you do this business, the more you'll learn. That was just the tip I wanted you to know. Okay, so moving on, right? I think number 6. Okay, so number 6 is customer service and feedback, right? So this is very important, especially as a beginner, because you want to bring them in. You want to bring them in with your personality. They haven't tasted your cake yet, right? So you want to do this by posting on social media. And there is this thing you need to know, right? I feel like most people don't talk about this a lot. They always say, oh, don't make your product for free. Don't let people cheat you. Don't give away free product. If you're starting new, you're going to give away a lot of free product. It's just the honest truth. I'm just being honest, right? Let me give you an example. When I first started my cake business when I was in medical school, I did this thing which really like opened the way for me. I do this thing where like in my church they do this birthday thing every month where like they buy a cake. So I kind of told the pastor that okay, I will be bringing the cake. So that way, yeah, if there are 200 people in church, at the end of the month I'll bring a cake that is free, and everybody gets to taste it and tell me how delicious. And in the same vein, several people still come and say, oh, my birthday is next week, will you make a cake? How much will it be? Do you understand? Especially when you're starting out, you don't want to do the regular adverts everybody is doing, because now you don't really have a lot of things on your page to show that, oh, these are the things I've made. But people that will trust you the most are the people in your community. So what's your community? It doesn't have to be a church. It can be your co-worker. Maybe somebody in your office has a birthday. You can make them a box of cupcakes. Not because you love them so much, but because you know what you're going to gain from it. So if you take a box of cupcakes to work, now the rest of the people in the office can say, oh, she brought her a nice cupcake. Oh, really great co-worker. Really great member of the team. At the same time, oh, really wonderful cupcakes. My son's birthday is next week. That's how you get your first customers. Usually your first customers are not going to come from Instagram. They're not going to come from TikTok. They're going to come from the people around you. So you're going to be able to look around you and strategize. How can you get into a group, into a space where there are a group of people and you can bring your product? Yeah? So you have to be very strategic about that so you don't give away too many free products. But let me tell you, yeah, you are going to give away some free products. And another thing, yeah, is you need to be able to, this is not written out, these are just my tips. Am I talking a lot? Yeah, but you ain't trying it. Okay, another thing, yeah, you need to be able to decide that you don't give away free things to maybe family members. That's where half of your money can go. Except, if you're giving away a free cake to a family member, it's a cake that you're going to make an old fuss about on social media, snap it, make a reel about it, and post it before you give it out. Make sure your business gets something out of it. You're just not baking free cakes for people. Do you understand? Yes, I know you understand. Okay, so I think the final step is, okay, the final and the most important step, I do this thing a lot, yeah? If you look at my page, you can't really tell which is a real cake and which is a dummy cake. Okay, so what you want to do to put yourself out there is, because you don't really have that many orders yet, and people need to see you make cake to know that you can make cake, and then they will come and buy from you. And they need to see you several times, not just once, yeah? So buy a dummy. I have several dummies. I can show you some there. I have some also, like, in a small room over there. So buy a dummy and make different designs. When you're done with one design, scrape off the buttercream, yeah? You don't have to tell your audience it's a dummy. Nobody knows it's a dummy. So buy a dummy, or if you want to tell them that on you, buy a dummy and decorate. Pick like a cake design that you like and try to remake it. Make a lot of fuss about it on social media. Post, make stories, make reels, and then scrape it off and do it again. Wash and rinse. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat as often as you can. And if you do all of these things I told you, in 4 or 5 months, you're going to see a difference. At least you're going to have like 5, 6 steady people coming back to you every week because they want cake. And that way you can finally strategize. Do you want to leave your job? Do you want to do this full time? In the meantime, my sister, my brother, don't leave your job. It's expensive and you need money to be able to fund your office, right?